Then when people watch it later, the beginning's
There's just this
awkward,
weird time where people are just hanging out, which for some reason something's not working about our viewership, so we don't know if people are watching. So be sure to write in the chat that you're here, so we're not talking to an empty room.
I'm gonna pull it up on Facebook.
If we are talking to an empty room, then that's okay. I can practice singing. Rin has
Kevin,
a jazz dance thing.
Recorded and posted later. We're not doing any of that weird stuff.
I'm still gonna practice singing.
Oh.
Look down, you'll always be a slave.
Oh, our viewers just dropped. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a meanie.
Wow, Elliot.
Oh,
Wow.
Elliot, we love you, and you're being so hurtful to us. And also, like, you love musicals.
Well, no, he's being hurtful to me, which everybody loves. So
yeah, I was.
Nobody likes being mean to you.
I was trying to be inclusive.
All right, inclusive in the we both get judged equally.
Yeah,
here.
I just know that you feel picked on more, so I was trying to.
You want to start?
Put us
There's
together.
8 whole people watching.
There might
and
be
one half person.
There could be
watching.
16 half people.
Yeah, it's true.
This is the same thing. Yeah, hello, people. You know what I was thinking earlier today?
Oh my goodness, that
No,
you
this
have
is on
a problem
subject.
with focusing.
No.
Yes.
Don't be rude. People probably think we like put on Castle branded merch to do these,
Oh yeah.
but it's just that our
is it?
Castle clothes are our most comfortable clothes, and usually we've just been like at home working on the computer all day.
I'm wearing my Miles Morales branded merch, so I can sell some of our Miles Morales stuff.
We don't have any Miles Morales stuff. I could get some though.
See, that's how effective this was. It's all sold. It's great.
That's not the case. I almost wore this sweatshirt today. I only wore this one because you were wearing it.
I double checked to make sure you weren't wearing this one before I put this on.
We don't
because
like being twins.
We have that problem.
It's not cute. Welcome to... Oh my gosh, my phone just blew up. Welcome to a special 5-year anniversary edition. It makes it sound like we've been doing this podcast for 5 years,
Yeah.
but
No, we've been running the castle for 5 years. The castle.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's muted.
We're on a live recording thing.
Well,
right?
tell Dom who's texting me that.
Okay. Dom, if you're watching,
He's
we're on a
not
live.
watching. He never watches any of our stuff. He doesn't love us.
You want to go by the script?
Yeah. Wow. You're a little touchy. Hello. It's not actually a script, it's like bullet points. I was talking about how it was our 5-year.
That's not first.
Oh my gosh, you're making this awful. I'm drinking tea to stay warm. The Castle has really
Tom is watching.
The Castle is really good tea. This is not that tea. I was gonna have Castle tea, but then I couldn't remember if it was caffeinated or not, and I got really stressed about. I just got too lazy to look it up. In any case, we have good like loose leaf tea. Is that the right?
Yes, loose leaf tea.
Words are hard now. So if you've ever need a tea and want to order it from the Castle, we've got it.
What kind of tea are you drinking? Fruity tea?
That's right. Yeah, I'm drinking fruity tea. Our happy tea at the Castle's really good.
Yeah, we have a happy tea that's a fruity tea that's really good. I'm drinking whiskey, which is not keeping me warm on the outside, but like on the inside it's keeping me warm. So, and we do have this. This is a maple rye that we have at the Castle. So that's actually it's a little bit sweet, but it's a good drink. It's a really good drink. So, and we're 5.
Well, we'll be 5 on the 5th, on December 5th.
This is one of those weird times because we 5 years ago last weekend we did our first.
It was our soft opening. We weren't truly open yet. This was our grand opening.
So we're about 5 years old now.
Whiskey is happy tea. That's what Josh said. Yeah, so we are 5. This is not how we pictured celebrating our 5-year anniversary.
Nope.
Usually we do discounted game fees, and the first year was like $1 game fee, and then our second birthday was like a $2 game fee, and we're like, this year are we just going to do a regular $5 for our
Next year we're going to charge extra for our
you
game
owe
fees.
us.
6 years.
I'll probably just write a nice post. That'll probably be it. But we're 5. We made it. That's what people, when you open a business, everyone's like, the first 6 months are the hump, and then you hit 6 months and you're like, wow, and everyone's like, no, the first 2 years are the hump, and you're like, wow, we did. And they're like, no, if you make it to 5. So now people are probably telling us it's when we make it to 10. Well, now I think if we make it through COVID, people will be like, all right.
You're a legitimate business.
These people can do it.
I think by 5 years you're a legitimate business, but like 10 years is when you're like successful. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll tell you at 10 years if we feel successful. So speaking of COVID, here's our little COVID update. Things are bad. That's just a general fact. Everyone knows that. That's not necessarily even castle related. Like, things are bad. Stay home. Because things are bad and people are staying home, things at the castle are like, they're not terrible. They're not as bad as they were, but they are not as good as they also were at a different time.
October was a great month for us. And then November, things kind of started sliding downhill, and then they took a steep dive around the Thanksgiving time. We're hoping that's going to pick up now that Thanksgiving time is over and
now it's Christmas shopping time. We got you covered.
So we're hoping that's going to happen, but right now we are seeing a pretty low turnout and just general ordering and everything like that.
Yes. So we're just trying to be transparent with you. We're not like closing tomorrow, but we have definitely seen a downturn in things a little bit. So we want to remind you some ways you can support us. For one, we are trying to do as much virtual stuff as we can because it's heck a lot safer, and we want both our staff and our customers and ourselves to be safe.
Heck a lot.
So, because of that, sometimes it is hard to monetize that because everyone's like, wow, that was fun. Thanks for doing that. We loved watching. And we're like, okay, but we need to get paid. So, if you're watching and you're enjoying what we're doing, is it at the Castle Bev? I thought it was the Castle Beverly.
No, it's the Castle Bev. Okay,
you double checked. Good. I just don't want people Venmoing the wrong. No, I made you.
I'm gonna double check now.
But if you're watching and you like our programming, like we had our friend Sarah Donner, who's an incredible singer, do a concert the other day. You can still watch it on our Facebook and it's posted. But if you're watching any of that stuff and enjoying it and want to be like, wow, it's nice that they provided this, is it? It is Castle Beverly. Kevin's trying to fix it. And you want to just Venmo us $5, like, we would be very grateful. Like, it
disappeared. There it is.
We're just trying to be safe and make good choices while still continuing to exist as a business. Oh no. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it works like that, but, when you actually show it, doesn't
Can you, delete it and put it back on?
We'll just do this one Friday.
Oh, there we go. All right.
No, that's Toast Tab.
Not the right one. So,
that's wrong too. The two things got mixed up.
Oh, they're switched.
Yeah, so that's what happened. The two things got switched. That's all.
All right.
So I'm gonna get rid of both of them, and I'm gonna make a new one. So that's fine.
All right, great.
We're doing great here. This is super professional here.
Our normal. We don't believe in being professional. Well, this is endearing. Also, other ways to support us is by retail. Our retail section has grown exponentially. I'll talk a little bit later. We're going to have a new retail site soon.
That's good, right?
But we're trying to... Or support us at Venn diagram. Oh, no, it's upside down. How are you doing this?
This is great. No. This is great.
Oh, no. Thank you, Sam, for saying happy anniversary. Sam's one of the designers of No Regrets, which they did a live stream for us, and then we sold a bunch of copies of their games, so that was awesome. So by retail, we sell games, obviously, but we also have a lot of cool, just nerdy stuff. I keep trying to get you guys to buy blankets. I have a new blanket to show you tonight that we just got in, because I love blankets. Thing. Yeah, blankets are my favorite thing. This particular blanket isn't my favorite blanket. It's just I love blankets. We also have some cool nerdy hats. We've got these new umbrellas in that I think you'll think are really cool. We only got 3 in because we weren't sure how well they'd sell, and I did a teaser post and we already sold one. So if you like the umbrella I show tonight, buy it right away. And then we also have Castle merch. We have Castle sweatshirts. Not this one. These are sold out. I wish it was a Snuggie. If you bought 2, you could sew them together and make one into sleeves. So just be creative, Josh, and make it a Snuggie. We have Castle t-shirts. We have Castle coffee. So lots of ways you can support us by buying stuff that is not eating in. Also, you can do takeout. We're still doing lots of takeout stuff. So order that. And then another thing we're doing this year is we're hosting virtual Christmas parties. So if your work is we usually spend a lot of money on bringing everyone to a nice restaurant, but that's a really bad idea. We'll host private trivia for you.
If you're all local, we'll send you food. We've got a couple people that we're talking to that are stand-up comics that will do a live stream stand-up comedy show. So that's really good because stand-up comedy works over the internet. Not DJs are tough, I think, over the internet.
Dance party.
Yeah, because you're kind of dancing in a room by yourself, looking at a camera.
Dancing on your own. It's Dom's favorite song.
Oh, that's good. Dom is focused really heavily in this stream for some reason. So we do host that. We've got a couple in the books already, and there's a couple more people that we're talking to. It's gonna be a fun time because people love our trivia. With the ability to send the food to people, we also do drink making classes if they want to, and stand-up comedy and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do for Christmas party while still making it virtual. So
yeah, so if you want to host one of those, even if you just want to do one with your friends, if you normally get together and do like a like our staff usually does like a Yankee swap, and we're not doing that this year. We're gonna do a Secret Santa instead, so that we don't all have to get together. We can do it for anybody.
So there's a lot of options that you have to help support us, and sometimes you can just ask us and take a look at our Facebook group, our Facebook page, just to be like, hey, what's going on? Because we are trying to let people know. It would mean a lot to us because, like I said, things are tough, especially for the restaurant business.
All right, so not the last thing, but speaking of ways you can support us and things we are doing, we want to mention some upcoming events. So we still have our weekly Castle cocktails, where our bartender Steve live streams making some cocktails and walking you guys. I keep saying you folks through that, and we usually have a drink special that night. You can order just that evening, and then on Fridays, Stefan and Casey do a stream of Magic cards, either. I was gonna say cracking some packs, but that sounds so.
That's
like
what
I
they
sound
call
like,
it. That's what they say. They say cracking some packs.
Call it, but when I say it, I sound like a mom who's like, "Oh, you're gonna crack some packs, sweetie," and that's just not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you sound like a mom a lot of times.
I do. I am
you're very much a mom. So
I got all those kiddos. So those are regular, recurring weekly things. This Sunday, we also have Chris Rio, who designed the party game Cheer Up. He has a pretty new game called Swearmints, which is. Like a little.
It's in a little tin. It's in a little mint
tin. It's so awesome. It can fit in your pocket. This portable party game, and then he just came out with a new game that I actually don't know anything about because I'm a bad friend. That's like a free print and play right now that he's gonna play with a few of our staff and staff's partners.
So if you're interested in games and how they're made, this is a game creator that can talk through the process, and you get to see the birth of a game, I guess. That print and play version is kind of like the first step of game making.
Yeah, so tune in Sunday at 6. That should be pretty fun. His games are very fun and interactive, and
he's fun and interactive.
And maybe you'll get to see his baby. Chris's wife
and I. He's gonna bring his baby to the stream?
No, he's gonna do it from his home.
That's true.
Kristen's wife and I had a baby around the same time, and I thought they'd get to be like little nerd babies together, but because of COVID, they haven't been able to hang out. They probably wouldn't have hung out anyway. We're bad at getting together people, but it was a dream I had, and I can blame COVID.
Also, they're babies. They're not gonna
what, Kevin?
We still have
babies
a lot of time.
Can do anything.
All right.
And lastly, we've been doing weekly virtual trivia, which has been really fun. And this upcoming week, we are actually doing themed trivia. We're doing Schitt's Creek trivia, which I am excited for because I love Schitt's Creek.
It's a great show. If you haven't watched it, you should.
There's time to binge before Monday.
Yeah.
Start now.
It's only, 5 seasons? What? Something like that?
I forget.
It's a lot. But you could still
6?
watch it through.
It seems like too many. Kevin has seen parts of Boss Baby because our son's into it. I'm confused why she's asking about Boss Baby.
I don't know, and
because we're talking about how babies can do things, and like that movie shows that they can. There's a sequel coming out, and in the beginning of the trailer, they're grown up. Like the Boss Baby is like an adult, but then they take a formula to be babies again. I'm sorry that I saw that trailer.
I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah, it's very
really weird. I've seen a lot of the TV show. Because
our kid watches the Boss Baby TV show.
Well, not anymore. He doesn't watch it as much, but there was a phase that he watched that a lot.
You guys watch Jingle Jangle? Everyone should watch Jingle Jangle. Anyways, back to the castle stuff.
Yeah. We have retail. You want to talk about the retail?
So we're going to show you some retail items that we're highlighting this week, and then we're going to tell you some stories from the 5 years of the castle's existence.
To celebrate our 5-year birthday.
I have to filter out, a lot of our stories are like horrifying, about like calling the police and fires, and we don't want to tell you those, so we have to think of the good stories, like good, like nice, not the like juicy ones. We'll try to tell some sort of juicy ones too, but all right, so first I'll show you some clothing accessories we have. So we just got in a bunch of new stuff. And
Jingle Jangle is fantastic.
Someone said that they didn't like Forrest Whitaker in it, and I was personally offended.
I was so shocked. That man can sing.
He was so
real well.
I really enjoyed him.
I did not expect Saw Gerrera to start singing like that.
That snowball scene brought us such joy. Our 5-year-old was like so into it. Anyway, so we got some new socks. They're like pop culture-y socks. We had Animal Crossing socks before, but these are different Animal Crossing socks, and they've got Isabelle in the middle and the little Nook boys. Those little Nook boys.
Nook boys.
And Celeste and Tom Nook in the background. Anyway, so they're all hanging out here. And these are like long and they feel really like, I don't know, like thick. Like how would you describe the feeling of these socks?
Dense.
They feel dense. Dense in a good sock way.
Yeah.
They're not like super thick. They're like smooth. I don't know. Anyway, we got these socks and they're great. We also, for all your winter needs, we have this great Zelda hat. We got Zelda socks in too, but I don't have them to show you. I do have another Zelda thing to show you in a minute. You guys are going to lose your minds. But this is a nice Zelda knit cap. These caps are really comfortable. We showed you, we had Magic the Gathering ones as well in. Do you want to show them this awesome Zelda thing while I unwrap this guy? This is a blanket.
All right, so this is the thing that Rin was talking about. She teased it before.
We only have 2 left. So if you want it, you should order now. You want to switch the...
So this is an umbrella, but it's the Master Sword from Zelda, obviously. This is Zelda's Master Sword. No, this is the Master Sword that Link sometimes wields. Sometimes he doesn't get to wield it until the end. But like, you see the hilt on this is... The hilt of the sword is the part that you hold for the umbrella, and it's a really cool looking umbrella. I feel powerful when I hold it.
It's really cool. Off. We keep ordering cool umbrellas.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think cool umbrellas would be a major portion.
We had D20 umbrellas when we sold out of them, so maybe I'll be able to get more at some point. But
so this is a really cool thing. It's really great. We also had a Star Wars lightsaber hilted one where the ends that you held look like lightsaber hilts, and that. Those went real quick, so we don't have any more of those, but we do have this.
So maybe we'll get some more cool umbrellas for you soon, but we do, yeah, and it's got the holder like this, so you can like slide it over your shoulder and get your like... Anyway, I feel very cool with it, and I don't even like umbrellas.
She doesn't.
So if you like this, you should buy it right now because we only have 2 left. You should switch the thingy over so they can see.
I can't.
Oh, you can't switch. It's toasttab.com/thecastlebev.
Well, while you talk about this, I can make it.
And then, this is our new blanket. Oh, I'm gonna go this way. I have to cover you, sorry. It's a cartridge! Look at that! Do you see it? I'm behind it so I can't see if I'm showing it to you. Look, it's even got the little like nick cut out of the corner. It's shaped. Can they see it, Kevin? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. No, I mean like they can see the corner right there.
Oh yeah. The thing's shaped, yeah.
So this is the latest blanket we've gotten in of our nerd blanket. Oh, thank you, sister. My sister posted the link because she's nice. We will get more D20 umbrellas just for you, Alec, but then if you don't order one, I'll be super put out.
It's also up on the screen and spelled correctly and everything.
Ooh. So, yes, this is a new, like, blankets are great gifts if you know someone who likes Mario or blankets or video games or all of them.
Seriously, look at it. It's awesome.
These blankets are so soft. They're, like, light. They're, like, nice TV watching blankets when you don't want to, like...
Or riding in the car blankets or sitting in your desk blanket. Rin has a lot of blankets.
Movie theater blankets. I've got like lots of different designations of blankets. I'm the blanket queen. Anyway, we just got those in. So most of the stuff we haven't even had a chance to put on our shelves yet because we got it in right after the holiday, and then we've been closed for a few days so that anyone who saw family can...
Yeah, for those of you who are just tuning in or didn't know about it, we are closed for nowadays. Until tomorrow,
We're opening tomorrow at 4, so we're opening tomorrow a little later than our normal hours, but
you can actually place orders online for any retail products now, and it'll just be available to be picked up or shipped tomorrow at 4.
Yeah, you can just place the order for tomorrow, and if you're picking it up, you don't have to get there tomorrow, get there whenever. Lastly, we had a game to show you, because that's a thing we do. Right, that's the last thing?
Yeah, that's it.
We're trying to not show you too much retail and make this just into a sale. Ooh, so this is a new game.
The Shining.
Okay, never mind.
No?
This is The Shining. This is cooperative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is like a cooperative game where you're in the Overlook Hotel. Kevin just did, so Kevin, I don't know if any of you know this, but Kevin has a podcast called Fearless Films. Kevin doesn't like horror movies because he thinks they're too scary, but he finds them interesting because there's so much like lore and stuff. So his best friend Pete, who's really into scary movies, just tells him what these movies are about, and Kevin talks about how stupid they are. I mean,
a lot of times they are very
horror
stupid.
Movies are ridiculous, but they're not all stupid. Sometimes they're just shocking and alarming. But last week,
yeah,
they talked about The Shining. Has that one been released yet?
I think so. I think that was Tuesday.
It's confusing because I hear them talking about it here, but it's not released the day they record it. In any case, so now he knows all about The Shining despite never seeing it.
I know a lot about The Shining.
I know nothing about The Shining except for like the stuff people use as gifs on the internet.
It has a sequel. 18 years later, Stephen King decided to write a sequel to his book, The Shining.
So is this Ravensburger? No, I just don't even know anything. I like new stuff before. No, this isn't Ravensburger. Anyway.
No.
We got it from Asmodee.
Yeah, this is straight from Asmodee.
So this is a cool new game. If you know someone who likes horror movies and board games, I want to show you like the back so you can kind of see. Oh, this is going to be blurry and terrible. Everybody pretend it's not blurry and terrible. Ooh, that game looks great. Nice. Thanks, guys. I like when everyone just goes along with my...
We could hear them all. Ooh,
yeah, I could hear them. So. You couldn't hear them? So that is just some of our newer items that we have in. We've got a few more orders coming in before Christmas. You can still special order through us. Some of the distributors we no longer can guarantee that we'll get by Christmas because they've like ungodly minimums we have to hit, and if you want one game we can't I wanted to say justify spending like the minimum order by Christmas, but some of our companies have much lower ones, so depending on what games you want, we're still always happy to look into it for you, and we'll let you know.
We'll do our damnedest to try to get games, so yes. Just let us know.
And we really appreciate when people ask, even if we can't get it. It like makes us feel good that you're trying local first, because it makes a big difference. I posted the other day that like we see every order, and like it's true, like anytime anyone orders from us, like we know it. If you come in and buy a board game, we're like, oh, this game sold. Like it makes a difference every single one, so we do really appreciate it. I closed my laptop, and that's where my little post-it note of 5-year stories is. But I think most of them are like bad stories I can't share.
I mean, it's not like a full story, but I do reminiscing, I guess. Elliot reminded me of it, the fact that Elliot was here in the chat, because I believe it was Elliot. Elliot started this trend of doodling our staff.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah, so I don't know if you guys, some of you guys may not know exactly where we're located, but we're also located really close to an art college. So we get a lot of artists working for us. And as a result, sometimes when you work in the castle or in any cafe, I guess, there's slow times, especially when you're brand new. Because during our first couple of years, we were definitely real slow sometimes. So there weren't any customers in, and Elliot started drawing caricatures on post-it notes of everybody on staff, which I thought was cool. So instead of throwing it away like a grumpy boss, I do the grumpy boss thing very well. Instead of throwing them away like grumpy bosses, I put them up on the back wall. So eventually we had the whole staff up on the back wall, which I guess none of us really thought about it at the time, but it made it real uncomfortable when one of them like had to leave. Not get fired or anything. They just like got a job or moved and like moved on with their life, and we're like,
at what point do we take their picture?
Yeah, like what do we do with these? Do we throw it? We can't throw it away. They didn't die.
Did they though?
So we had it on one side of the wall, and all we do is we just take it off and we put it on the other side of the wall, and that became like the unofficial, graveyard of previous employees. Which, because working in a cafe is very transitory, eventually the whole wall went over to the other side, so it was just a whole wall of ghost employees. So I had to take them all down eventually.
Yeah. I took a photo before we did though, because that was really cool. We've had that I know of 2 engagements. I would say 1 engagement at the castle and 1 that we were participating in. So one One was funny because it was this customer who was pretty regular and came in all the time with his girlfriend, and then one day he was just like, I'm gonna go ask her to marry me, and we're like, what's happening? And it was very exciting. We had to not like be sticking our noses around the side. But the other one, somebody set up one of those like scavenger hunts, so she had to come in and find the game of life, and then there's a clue in the game of life that led her to the next game.
One of those two had their first date at the castle.
That could have been both of them.
I keep on saying the castle's a really great first date location because you know what type of person you're dating after you play a game with them, especially some of the more intense two-player games.
Well, Alec, who was in the chat a minute ago, Alec and their partner did engagement photos at the castle.
Oh, yeah.
Which was really cool. I get so excited whenever anybody does something like that. Like, it's just very cool to have a place that means something to people.
We had a regular. He was coming in regularly for a while. He had his retirement party at the castle, which is pretty cool, except it was a military retirement. So, like, there was a whole squadron of soldiers in full dress regalia standing in our dining room as they like officially presented like a plaque with a folded flag and all that other stuff, and it felt a little surreal because I'm watching this while they're standing in front of a wall of 300 board games.
Yeah, and it didn't. He still comes in all the time. He's awesome. He's one of our most regular supportive customers. I try to think of all my stories have to do with like homeless people like yelling at people, and that's like not necessarily something people want to hear stories about.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but I don't know if we want to drag the image of the castle down with homeless yelling people stories.
We try to be well, I'll tell a story about our first homeless person because that was like me being naive. When we first opened, we had this gentleman come in and ask for a sandwich, and I was like, heck yeah, we'll be the restaurant that gives free food away to people who need it.
We see those posts on the internet all the time.
So he came and he sat at a table, and he started like talking to himself, and then he started saying like a lot of really racist things, and then he looked at our only Asian employee and just goes, what race are you? And the poor employee was like, I gotta go! And like, then I wandered over, and I could just hear him go, I could kill everybody in here. So we,
That was, an experience.
We encouraged him to leave, and that was... We'll still give away food sometimes if people come in and are like, hey, can I just, like, get something to eat? But usually we don't encourage them to stay now, because we just don't want to be stuck in those positions where someone's threatening to kill everyone in our restaurant.
One of the first, I think it was our second month open or something like that, where it's like Saturday, I think. I think it's a Sunday morning. I'm working. We're sitting there, and then stuff starts to fall onto the sidewalk in front of the window of our dining room. Yeah, like people are just sitting, eating it's like pillows and stuff, like pillows and some cushions and clothing, and it turns out that one of the apartments above us, there was a falling out, I guess. The woman who owned the apartment's boyfriend was cheating on her, I guess, and she had just found out, so she started throwing all of his stuff out of the apartment window. We just have all these customers like, what's happening? All these things are just falling. Stuff falling from the second story above it in front of our windows, which are big windows, and we had tables set up right in front of it, including, unfortunately, well, she didn't fall, but eventually this older lady kind of wandered in because it was the boy's mother who was staying with them, who got kicked out, who was very confused and more than a little upset. So we sat her down and gave her a cup of tea while her son's stuff is being thrown out of the apartment and cascading down in front of her. So that was... We've had some wild times. We've had some wild people come in. We've had some loud
moments.
The first time ever there was an actual fist fight in the castle, it had nothing to do with alcohol, but it did have everything to do with risk. It was risk, and I was not surprised that it was risk. There was somebody who was using a word that some people find offensive and some people don't. This person didn't find it offensive, and the other person really did, and so he would not stop using it even though he was asked politely about how dumb the game was or how dumb the strategy was, and eventually a table got flipped over and there was almost a fist fight. So that was, I think, the only time I've seen a fight break out in the castle. That was our first year, so that was 4 years ago. And it was in the middle of the afternoon. They weren't drinking. It was just risk. Risk will do that to you.
Risk gets emotions high. I think one of the things I'm going to miss most this year, but also I'm relieved to not have to do, is our New Year's Eve party. Although last year, we, killed it. I felt really good about it last year.
Last year I think we did really well. All right. Elliot is fired. I'm firing Elliot.
You can't fire him. Elliot. He stopped working for us, a year and a half ago.
More than a year and a half ago.
Well, yeah. The last, year hasn't felt real, so time is confusing now.
I thought you were going to say the 24-hour gaming marathon.
Oh, yeah, we're never doing that again.
Well, we are, but we're not participating in all 24 hours. I don't even know if we'll do it. I thought we weren't going to do it at all. No, I thought we were. I think it'd be fun.
Okay. That's not what we decided before. But, no, what I was saying was the New Year's Eve party. So every year, our first year we were like, let's do a New Year's Eve party, because a lot of places, bars are open, but a lot of places aren't hosting New Year's Eve events. It's just they are open, the stuff will be on, but it's not a special thing. And a lot of people don't want to go to bars because if you don't drink or you just don't like the super crowded atmosphere.
Also, it's super expensive because a lot of bars charge a lot.
So did we do tickets our first year?
No.
So we didn't do tickets our first year for our New Year's Eve party, and we just got packed out. I think we had to turn people away.
Yeah, we turned a lot of people away.
We had multiple parties at single table. We'd be like, "Oh, are you okay with sharing this table with random strangers?" And
we had 3 different parties at one table that was supposed to seat 5. It sat 10, and they were 3 parties of 2, 3, and 5 all crammed together.
And that's something we've had happen a few times at the castle, where we just because of the community and the atmosphere, we can go up to tables and be like, "Is it okay if we sit randos here?" And usually they're like, "Yeah, of course, we'll just hang out and play games."
There was one time we had a single person come in to do trivia, and there were no tables left, and I was like, "Hey, I kind of know you guys because you're kind of regular. You've got 4 people, but the team limits are 6. Do you want to just have this person be on the team?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And they ended up being a regular team of the 5 of them over the course of the next year.
So the next year when we did New Year's Eve party, we did tickets.
Yeah.
And they sold out so fast. And then it just became people's thing. They just come to the castle New Year's Eve party. We did a Connect 4, I was going to say Foursquare, a Connect 4 tournament.
Every year the same person won? No, last year they did not. I don't think they participated.
I think they couldn't.
So the first 3 years they won, the same person won, yeah.
So they finally were not able to come, and then someone else could win. But we were like, are we going to have to change the tournament? Because I don't know if they should just keep winning every year. But also, we don't know that. We're not, bought into that. So,
if you want to beat them, you just have to get better at Connect 4.
Get good.
Apparently, there's a strategy to it.
Yeah, last year was the first year we did past hors d'oeuvres instead of letting everyone just order whatever they wanted, which was horrible because everyone would arrive at the same time and we'd have 80 orders put in at once, and our staff would just be crying and we'd be like, "It's New Year's, have a happy face!"
Our poor staff, they'd never get New Year's off. We'd be like, "Hey, that's fine, take Christmas off, go home, see your family for Thanksgiving, but you will be here for New Year's and you will work your ass off all night. I'm sorry, but we're also going to be there."
Yeah, we'd be there too. So we all suffered together, and it was kind of fun. It was horrible and fun, and it was it's just nice seeing everyone there, and then we get to watch we have a giant D20 that we open up.
One of our employees in our first round of employees, they made it for us.
So the D20 drops at midnight.
Although I don't think we're using that anymore. I think it finally...
It after 4 or 5 years, It really died. So last year we did past hors d'oeuvres, which was like, oh, we get prep stuff all in advance. It was way better. So
and we got specialty food in because we could do it. We knew what we were doing.
Yeah, we had like stuffed mushrooms. They were so yummy.
Yeah, and like New York cheesecake dessert squares and things like that. There was a lot of really good stuff.
So next year we will be back with a vengeance for our New Year's Eve party.
I hope so.
I hope so too. If you have like a favorite castle event that you attended, let us know in the chat. Speaking of like having one person join, we had one person come in one night to play with their regular D&D group, and their D&D group didn't show up, and this poor girl had just gone through like an awful breakup, and she just like she just looked so upset, and we were doing trivia. And I asked Kayla, who was here a little bit ago, who's like a lovely person, and her team, if she could join them, and they just like let her play on their team that night, and it like saved this girl's evening from being awful.
I think Kayla and her team were the one who brought the other person in too.
Kayla
that was Luke. I think it was Kayla, and they brought
let Luke play with them. Yeah. It's the nice thing about having regulars is you just know that you can count on them. So kind of
I can count on people. Bill to be surly and yell at me.
I wish Bill was here. Bill was in the chat.
Bill doesn't know how to use Facebook or live stream.
He's old.
Bill's 712 years old.
Bill's super mean to us, and we love him so much. So we can be mean to him.
If you guys think you're regulars, you aren't, unless you are on level with Bill. Bill.
That's not fair. No one's on level with Bill. That means we have one regular.
He's been coming here. He's been coming to the castle literally since we opened pretty much every week. And I remember there was one summer, because he's a teacher, there was one summer that he was there 3 times a week, just being like, I got nothing else to do. It's summertime. I'm just going to grade some reports from homeschool or from like summer school people. And he was there every day, and it was great.
He's awesome. And, yeah. He's just like, he's the best. He's now a retired teacher. Just awesome. We just have the best regulars, and sometimes they move away, and that's sad. Sometimes our staff moves away. Elliot.
Yeah, but those people are dead to us, so.
I love Elliot.
Dead to us. Don't acknowledge him.
We've had some really good staff, and we miss them. We've had some terrible staff too. We miss them less, but.
Yeah, well, we probably really shouldn't tell stories about our terrible
No, I won't tell stories about them. I'm just acknowledging that they've existed.
I will tell a story, I won't use names though, about one of the weirdest things of I hired somebody and they never showed up for their shift, and I never heard from them. Never showed up for their first shift. I hired them. They said they're like, oh, I can't make this one shift because my availability like stopped getting good. I didn't have as much good availability. I was like, oh, it's okay. Just come in when you can. And we never heard from them again.
I don't remember that. I deleted that.
It was very early on. It was one of our first hires.
Hiring people is hard.
So technically there's somebody who's, I never fired him, so he could still come in for his first shift 5 years later.
I feel like
we'll train him.
Pretty hard no call, no show at this point.
But we didn't schedule him for any shifts.
I guess.
So that's no call, no. He hasn't broken any rules. Come on down. You know who you are.
Early on, we had this woman come in who we decided later was probably like on some kind of drugs. She kept saying like weird stuff, like weird stuff that like you'd make up if you were saying weird stuff, like, oh, the bees are going to get me, and you're like, too much Nick Cage, like. But she was complaining about bees a lot. So we called her a cab.
Yep, I remember this now.
She kept trying to get a cigarette from everyone. She was like, anybody have a cigarette? Anybody have a cigarette? And then like after a while, just reached in her own purse and pulled out a pack of cigarettes. And we were like,
well, cigarettes are expensive. You want to see what you can get before you waste your own.
So we called her a cab. She had been saying all this really odd stuff. And then right at the time, we used to like bring our baby to work all the time. Elijah's 5 now. He was like 8 months old at the time. So I'm like holding my baby, getting her in this cab, trying to tell the guy like, don't stop and let her buy more cigarettes. And she just looks at me and suddenly Stone Cold sober just goes, get in a spaceship if it's your last chance. And it like scared me.
She's talked about this many times.
It felt like one of those like crazy like the beginning of like a sci-fi movie where later you're like, that woman was warning me. She knew. I should have gotten in a spaceship. But where Where would I have found a spaceship?
If there's, I mean, your life isn't over yet. You could still run into a spaceship, and it could be your last chance.
If it is my last chance, I will get into a spaceship and fly away with my baby, who's now 5.
Yeah, if you guys were there for the early days and you saw Elijah now, he's a thing.
He's a wild thing.
He's a wild child. So he's also our longest running employee of the month. We still have it up. I think a year and a half or 2 years straight, we printed out employees of the month. And we hung them on the door in the back room. And every month, it was Elijah.
We were so annoying in the beginning. We'd make all of our staff come back and be like, everyone come see, we're going to reveal who the new employee of the month is. Everyone look, we're funny. And then we'd be like, it's our baby again.
It was a new, so like.
It was always a new picture.
It was a new picture from that month. So if you, in our back room, you now can see like the first year and a half, month by month photos of Elijah as he was growing up for that first year and a half, because he made employee of the month. Because Elliot almost got employee of the month, but he just wasn't there.
Quite good
just
enough.
Didn't edge out.
There was
Elijah.
there was also a time when, so I used to work every day. We worked like crazy hours when we first opened.
We were both working 60 hours a week. Easy.
Yeah, and so I would be there during the day because Kevin still had another day job. So I would be there with our baby alone, but we were a new business, so we didn't get that many customers. And then one day there was a bomb threat at the high school, which ended up being fine, just people making dumb phone calls. But like 14 high schoolers came into the castle, and I'm there with Elijah, Melissa, and Lex, and they were just like, hey, we're here and we love your restaurant. And I was like, okay, and just gave them my baby.
He's like, I'm gonna make your food, here's a baby.
And they just passed him around while I made all their food and all their drinks, and they were great. And the theater kids used to come in all the time and just like hang out with Elijah. And
the castle used to be the place they used to go to after their shows.
Yeah.
If anybody was in theater, I remember this when I was in theater. After your shows, you would go to a restaurant and you'd all hang out and have food and drinks and stuff. And the castle was their restaurant for a year or two.
Yeah,
so that was a good time.
We were quiet enough when we first opened. We were just like, oh, we'll just have the baby there all the time, and we did for a while.
We had a pack and play in the back room. It's now a rentable room because we renovated it and it's not scary. Yeah. And we had a pack and play, and it used to be like, we used to have our employees come in and they'd be like, hey, and I'm like, don't go in the back room, it's nap time right now.
What did they call it? Brandon, who worked for us for a while, a great DM.
Really good cook, though.
He used to have a name for it, like Napville or Baby Town or something. And so we just like put him down for naps while we were at the castle. There was one day where I had Elijah there, and I got a huge group in the middle of the day, and I wasn't expecting them, and while I'm trying to serve them and act professional, Elijah got himself locked in the bathroom, so I'm trying to like take their orders, and he was screaming in the bathroom, but also like it wasn't like an easy fix. Like I had to like jam him out of the bathroom from this door that this table could see. That was horrible.
Yeah, there was something that we would definitely not let fly nowadays that happened in our early days, because what else we were gonna do? I was working. Rin had to man the shop because we couldn't afford to have somebody work during the day, and we had a baby.
Yeah, we just maybe like if you're gonna open a new business, don't do it with a baby.
Don't have a baby at the same time. Literally, Rin took her maternity leave from her current job to work on opening the castle. Like, that's how dumb we are. We had a baby literally at the same time.
The plan was to be like, oh no, my job, I feel like I love my baby too much to come back, but it had always been to like leave to go run the castle.
Hopefully nobody that works at your old job is
anyone who works at my old job I don't care about, because I'm still mad at them for some decisions they made, so I'm fine with them being mad at me. Yeah, there was a lot of good Elijah times. A lot of just like, oh, you want a coffee? Sure. Can you hold my baby, random person?
We are very cavalier with our children, so yeah. And he has no shyness at all with strangers, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, that might be our fault. He is a good boy.
Should we stop? Or, I mean, there's more stories I'm thinking of as we talk. But
I know, as we go, I'm thinking of all this stuff. It's been like...
So, there was one guy who stole a Denny's mug for us. There was a Denny's on Endicott Street near the Liberty Tree Mall that closed down, and he snuck in and stole it, and then he said he was going to go back. pretending to be like from Denny's corporate to try to steal.
He did that. He made up business cards because he really wanted the Denny's clock for some reason. So he like went in with this business card and was like, "Oh, I just need to confiscate that clock." And they were like, "No, you get out of here!" Like they saw through him, but he had stolen us Denny's mugs. That was like the first gift he
liked us a lot as the castle for some reason.
If you're familiar, so I mentioned Sam before was a designer of No Regrets. He got one of the lame tattoo cards from No Regrets tattooed on his upper thigh. And
which he showed us.
Despite me being like, "No, you can't take off your pants in my restaurant." So he has a banana tattooed on him. A banana with sunglasses. I just came across that photo because I took a photo of it. Because, of course, in my photos the other day. I hope he's doing well. He's a good one. We had a lot of really good, like, regulars. But because we're in, like, a college town, people, like, transition out. And we don't see them for a while. And we miss them all.
Except for Bill.
Bill will never transition out because he's an old man.
And Tom. Tom's probably our longest. He was there at the soft opening, and he still comes in a regular time. So, we have a question.
Well, they're asking what's the best part of Maine, which feels really unrelated to the castle, but being from Maine, I guess I can answer it. The best part of Maine is...
Kennebunk.
What? Kennebunk barely even counts as Maine. Get out of here.
Portsmouth.
Okay.
Portland.
Portsmouth is in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's
Portland
why I said Portland.
Is great.
Portland. Yeah, Portland.
We can't give you love when we still don't know who you are. This is horrible. Every time we do a stream, this person comes on and talks to us, and we cannot figure out who they are. And now it's a game, so they'll never tell us. I don't know. The best.
Their name's Portland.
Maine is my home. Ocean Point. It's my vote.
My favorite part is the fact that you can. Only to you, Dwayne.
Bill's not only a young man. Bill's gonna die any day now. I
can
tell him he can't die in my restaurant. That's the only rule.
I would say that the best part of Maine is the fact that the bridge goes up and you can use it as an excuse if you're late to high school class.
It's like one of Kevin's favorite stories from... It wasn't even like a bridge I can go across. Some of my friends lived on an island, and if the bridge was up, they would be late for school, and it was like a reasonable excuse. So like, oh, the bridge was open.
All right, we're gonna shut down the. We've been talking long enough about all of this old-timey stuff. We sound like Bill reminiscing about the good old days. So let's talk about new stuff that we're having. Obviously, the castle's very different now. We only let one table per room in, so thank God we renovated that back room. So that's a third table. We are doing a lot more retail. We're doing a lot more takeout stuff, and we've got this streaming stuff that we're starting. So we're doing more streaming stuff, we're doing more online stuff. We want to make things happen that people will enjoy. The whole point of the castle is creating a fun, engaging environment for community people to come together and hang out and have a good time together. And if we can't do that in person, we're going to do it online. So that's what we're doing now. We've got a couple things that we started up, and Rin, do you want to talk about any of them?
Yeah, so I'm going to paste in here right now. So this is on the Facebook Live. If you're watching on YouTube or on somewhere else, where else? Twitch. I'm not going to bother pasting it there because I'm lazy. Sorry.
I might be able to.
Oh, you might be able to do it. We started a Facebook group. So Facebook hates small businesses. And so whenever we post stuff, even if you're following us and you like us and whatever, you won't see it like in your newsfeed most of the time, because unless we... Oh my gosh, Casey's dad is here. I'm going to talk to Casey's dad in a second. Try and finish my thought. I always interrupt myself.
I could talk about scotch now.
Wait. Stop. So, we have made a Facebook group because Facebook likes groups. You'll see if you scroll through your newsfeed, stuff from groups that you don't even care about shows up in your newsfeed. So, we've made a group, and we're hoping to at least do a little bit of the community that we are missing out on by not being able to meet in person there. So, you can post if you're like, hey, this new D&D book's coming out and it looks super cool. Has anybody heard about this Kickstarter? That seems neat. I'm looking for someone to play this game with.
The whole Sherman family's here.
Any sort of tabletop or castle related stuff, as long as you are being nice, is totally welcome. So
even some tangentially nerdy stuff. So if you're like, hey, I watched Game Night, which stars Jason Bateman. It's all about playing board games together. Did you guys like that? That's a board game related nerdy topic. We'll let that fly.
Yeah.
It's not just a group, by the way. It's the Castle Guild. It's very important. It's the Castle Guild. So you can join that guild and be a part of our discussion. So it's a lot of fun, and we're trying to make it very active. Although members participating is what makes it super active, so it can't just be us screaming into a void all the time.
Yeah, so other people should post as well, but we'll be posting regularly in there. We'll be also trying to do sneak peek stuff in there, so when we come up with new stuff, like when we finally get this online store we're doing all together, we'll probably post it there first.
That was another big announcement that you just kind of brushed over.
No, I'm going to go back to it. It's a whole separate announcement. Or if we have new menu items, or if we want your opinion, it's just going to be a little bit more direct communication stuff. So we're excited for it. Both of our employee, Casey's parents, are here, and I love Casey. I just want them to know that.
What about them?
I don't know them. Well, I think I've met them once.
Them? Yeah, I met them.
But that doesn't mean I know them. We didn't hang out together, but Casey's great, so assumedly they're great. It would follow.
For my birthday, I got a 10-year-old single malt Lafroig 10, and it is an amazingly smooth scotch that I really appreciate. So.
Do Casey's parents like scotch, or are you just saying this randomly now?
Michael does.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair. So the thing that I just glazed over, glossed?
Sure.
Glassed? Glotched?
Galoshed
over, is that we are coming out with a new online store. So when we first started selling retail stuff online, we were like, we don't do a lot of retail, so we'll just do it through our food ordering site because And now we're doing a lot more retail and
a lot of our policy is, why not?
Ordering through an online food site is confusing because it's hey, when do you want to do your pickup? Or do you want to we have to charge for shipping, but because it's so it's don't choose delivery, you've got to then choose shipping as a thing we added in there. Anyway,
online store.
We're coming out with a new online store. It'll probably have some bumps and things, but it'll be easier to buy things as gifts for people. It'll be much nicer looking.
Everything's gonna have pictures and descriptions.
Ooh, I've been spending all day on this. It's been a lot of work. Kevin's been helping a ton. We're hoping to have that launched by this weekend. There might be some little things we have to work out, you probably won't be able to use Castle gift cards the same way. So there's things we'll have to solve, but we are willing to work with it. We work with every game distributor that starts with A, is what I realized today. That may not be true, but it feels like it. Can you buy a date with Bill? I think you could.
We'll talk to Bill.
He'll do it. I don't know. I love Bill. I would go on a date with Bill. If that's okay with you. You can come too. Yeah, so we're excited for that. And we are going to be closing Mondays because
Bill is a distinguished gentleman. It is a lot more than $15 to go on a date with him.
That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't
put a zero on the end of that at least.
He might take $15, but as you're going through us,
don't cheapen Bill.
Okay. We're going to start closing Mondays, the restaurant on Mondays again, because most of the people who are spending the time to hang out with us are doing virtual trivia and don't need to be there in person. So we're going to give our staff a break and not make them hang out in an empty restaurant.
But that doesn't mean we're not doing things on Mondays. We are doing the online trivia, as we mentioned before, so join us there.
Yeah, but you just won't be able to order food out and you won't be able to go in. But that wasn't really happening anyway, which is why we're closing on Mondays. What else? I don't know. I feel like we're doing so much new stuff. We've got all these new live stream ideas.
We're working on a new live stream project that's going to be a longer, more polished, produced thing, and I'm really hoping that it's going to go well. I'm excited about it. We've got some very talented people that we're going to be working with, and we'll talk more about it as we get further along with it, but I'm pretty excited about that. So keep a lookout for more online content that we're going to be creating as we go. I swear we are more put together than we seem in these live shows. The thing is, the Castle Chats are meant to be very casual, so we just kind of sit down and we're like, I guess we're going to talk about this stuff. Whatevs.
Well, and I'm so distracted by the chat, which, like, I like interacting with people, but I, like, interrupt myself. Like, I should finish what I'm saying and then respond, but I can't.
I'm terrible at interrupting Rin, so Rin's trying to do this poor thing, and I'm like, but what about this?
Yeah. No, that's fair. I interrupt you, too. So I think that's it. I could tell more stories for years.
We've been on here for an hour. We've made these people watch us for an hour.
We didn't make them. Some of them
we
have
did.
left.
We forced them.
Okay, I guess we're done. I'm gonna go keep working on our online store while maybe we like watch The Witcher or something.
Yeah, we're really behind. We just started watching The Witcher.
We didn't want to watch it when we were like not that interested in it when it came out, and then lately we've been like, I think it's more and more as I see people using it as gifts, I'm like, this show looks kind of good. So now we're gonna watch it. Tell us who you are, YouTube watcher. Oh no, I can't do one guy. See, I would rather never know.
No, we're not gonna give you that power.
We're
not gonna guess who you are. You've already taken enough of our show by making us respond to you. But Michael's still here, though, so that's good. The Sherman family.
Where's his daughter? Why isn't Casey watching?
Probably because we're making her
work. And just
work.
being like, I love my job.
No, she should be doing her schoolwork.
Oh yeah, Casey better be doing homework right now.
So
that's true. Fair enough. See? Okay, good. We're getting into The Witcher. We're enjoying it. We're gonna go watch it now. Thank you everyone who tuned in, and we love you all. And I know, we'll have more stuff for you next week.
Just remember, if you want to order any of the retail stuff that we talked about, like this cool sword, you can do it at toasttab.com/thecastlebeverly. Also, if you, if you want to just try to support us, if you're just like, hey, you love our online content and you want to give us some money for it, you can do it through Venmo. That's the easiest way to do it. It's at the Castle Beverly, so you can make that work for it too. So we really appreciate all of you that tune in to listen. Our self-worth is directly related to how many views we get on these live streams. Healthy. So we are very happy that you guys stuck with us. So thanks a lot, guys.
We'll see you next week.